career, Giannis Antetokounmpo is open-minded about his future, meaning taking his talents elsewhere. Welcome into First Take. I'm Molly Karam alongside Stephen A. Smith. Shams Charania here with us now. Shams, good morning. Thank you for the time. What more can you tell us about Giannis?
Molly, there's no firm decisions that Giannis Antetokounmpo has made, but like you just said, for the first time in his NBA career, he's exploring what the best fits look like outside of Milwaukee. So whether that's staying as a Buck, but potentially leaving elsewhere. And this Combine Week is essentially the summit of Giannis Antetokounmpo. All 30 NBA decision makers are here. Agents are in town. There's going to be some substantive conversations that are going to be taking place this week that could determine where he lands. Of course, tonight is lottery night. We'll see where Cooper Flag could end up. We'll see which team out of several of them in the lottery that are trying to be contenders, trying to compete, where they end up in the lottery. But around the league, everyone's eyes are all on Giannis Antetokounmpo. This is a 30-year-old player in the prime of his career. For him to be potentially available or even open-minded to thinking about leaving Milwaukee is a domino that this league is waiting on. All 29 other teams are waiting on this domino, and he has said repeatedly what he wants out of his career is to be in the best long-term sustained winning environment. And I'm told that's going to be at the forefront of everything he's going to be thinking about this offseason. He has a lot of equity in Milwaukee, though, Molly and Stephen A. As you guys know, he's played 12 years there, won a championship in 2021, Finals MVP, two-time MVP in the regular season. This is someone that's very accomplished in Milwaukee, homegrown there. But he said it on his brother's podcast last month. If I don't win another championship, essentially, he's not going to be able to sleep at home at night. And so that is something that he's going to be giving a lot of thought to. The entire NBA is waiting to see not only where he lands potentially, but what it means for them. And Giannis is at the forefront of everyone's minds here.
Shams, what's the ultimate motivation behind the timing of this with Giannis? Is it the fact that they lost in the first round? Is it Damian Lillard being down with the Achilles and likely out for most, if not all, of next season? And he's looking at it from that perspective. What's the ultimate motivation behind it in terms of this moment in time?
Stephen, when he looks at this team, I'm told, obviously, it's very top-heavy salary-wise, and there's a lack of really tradable, high-valued contracts. They have 7 players under contracts. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Damian Lillard, of course, Kyle Kuzma, and then there's a lot of guys who make, around minimum salary. So when you look at the marketplace trying to elevate that team, their options are dry, and they only have 1 first-round pick eligible to be traded. That's 6 years away, 2031, 2032. They can trade one of those picks. So you don't have really high-value tradable contracts. You have 1 first-round pick eligible to be traded. You don't necessarily have cap space. They have their full mid-level exception to use. And so some people in Milwaukee do believe, like, listen, we have the mid-level exception and we have 1 first-round pick. But is that going to be enough to really elevate this team without Damian Lillard being there, without a co-star there that can ease the burden for Giannis Antetokounmpo, which I think at the age of 30, as he continues to get older and older, continue to get mileage, he's going to be 31 years old next season. So playing along another star player, of course, has to be at the forefront if you're really going to be competing for a championship. And the Bucks' pathways to go out and getting another star and elevating this roster, it's limited right now.
Well, we see a lot of teams around the NBA. We know the teams that have the most assets, the Oklahoma Cities of the world, the San Antonios of the world to a lesser degree, the Houstons of the world, etc. Has Giannis given any indication as to where he would prefer to go in the event he decides he definitively wants out of Milwaukee, or is that something that's still up in the air right now?
There's been no definitive answers on that front. This week is going to be a big week for a lot of those conversations. The next few weeks are going to be big, leading up to the NBA draft in June. And those are conversations Giannis' representatives, Alex Saratzis, he's going to have those conversations, not only internally, but listen, every team in the NBA, every executive in the NBA is going to be in town this week. Naturally, team to team, everyone's going to be having the Giannis conversation. This is exactly where that's going to take place. And eventually, wherever it ends up being, if that's the path Giannis Antetokounmpo goes down, eventually it'll be somewhere where there is a sustainable long-term path toward winning. And where is that? That is something he's trying to eventually figure out as well.
Jums, two questions for you before I let you go. How much power do Giannis and his agents have in this, and what does it also mean for Damian Lillard?
A lot of it, Molly, I think, is just the relationship that's been built over years, right? There's been a lot of equity there, relationships built not only with ownership, Bucks general manager John Horst, with Giannis Antetokounmpo, with his representatives, and that's something that there's long-standing conversations that happen every offseason with Giannis and where his mindset is at. He's even spoken about it publicly, that if we can't get to a position of winning a championship, again, I'm going to have to look outside. But this is that moment where the moment of looking and seeing what else is out there. That's what this offseason is going to be about. That's what this week is going to be about. So those conversations, I think, out of respect will happen, and they're going to want to do, I think, to an extent, right by someone that's been the face of their franchise, brought them a championship, finals MVP, whether that's staying in Milwaukee and rebuilding around him in Milwaukee, or potentially looking elsewhere. And the sides haven't had a formal meeting yet, but I'm told that is expected at some point this offseason as well. And Damian Lillard underwent Achilles surgery. He, of course, has a goal of being back next season. Next season is going to end up being in jeopardy just for the simple fact this is an Achilles tear at the age of 35.
Xin chào tất cả mọi người. Chào mừng mọi người đã quay trở lại với tập truyện 532 trên kênh Chuyện Ma Chú Ba Duy. Duy xin chúc mọi người có một buổi nghe chuyện ma thật là hấp dẫn nha.
Để đi dưới nước ha. Dạ. First round exits. All right, Jay, good morning. Great to see you.
Molly, good to see you.
Wendy, hi, good morning. Stephen A., I'll start with you. Just your reaction to the Giannis news, potentially taking his talents elsewhere.
I'm not surprised at all. Not even a little bit. They're not good enough. Their future doesn't look bright in terms of the assets they have available. And then the moment that Damian Lillard went down with the Achilles tear, I mean, to me, it was a wrap. So, you know, Shams reporting, obviously doing the exceptional job that he always does. He understands that, you know, according to him, he's hearing that he's contemplating it. To me, there's no contemplation. Giannis wants out. It's just that you got a draft lottery coming up tonight. Let's see, you know, what happens with that. Let's see who has what assets, et cetera, and where we're going to go from there. He obviously has an incredible affinity for the city of Milwaukee. Gave him his first opportunity, showed a lot of faith in him, and he's definitely rewarded them in droves with his exceptional play, his championship caliber play, his all-time great play when you look at his career and what he's accomplished. But in the end, this team doesn't appear to be going anywhere because the two stars that you have, you got the Lone Ranger that is Giannis, you got Damian Lillard who could do it all if he's healthy, but he is not. And bless you. And because of the combination of the two things, the combination of Damian Lillard, along with you being bereft of the necessary talent to compete legitimately for a championship, of course Giannis wants out. He just hasn't announced it yet. But why should he want to stay in Milwaukee other than nostalgia?
You know, I've been down this path once before with KD. I'm going to make the same mistake twice. Obviously, I have a production company, media company with GA, which I think for transparency should always be out there, should talk about it. I can't tell you, I don't think there's any ill will between him and the Milwaukee Bucks. Right. Obviously, Mark Lasry was part of the team ownership. Great relationship with Mark Lasry. Yeah. Great relationship with Jimmy Haslam, Wes Edens, like John Horst. Everybody's on the same page. I think this comes down to what kind of value can the Milwaukee Bucks extract from Giannis, and can they work together with Alex Rassis and Giannis to make sure that he is positioned to be in the right situation that he wants? I know a lot of teams. You just may mention Houston Rockets. You talk about San Antonio. AC. I throw out another team, and I did this before. I just wouldn't discount Golden State. Okay. I wouldn't discount Golden State and Steph Curry. I think assets-wise, they could have it. You could package Jimmy Butler. Just understanding how Giannis has had a proclivity for Steph Curry before, how they could play, how you can keep that window open for them both. I just think it's an interesting team to talk about that nobody's really talked about as of yet.
What about Brooklyn?